2. Welcome to another exciting episode of Master Not with our wonderful heroes, Puddle, the water being,
But I'm not water. I'm ice.
Spencer, the super cash.
Remember, guys, Captain Planet says save the Earth, or is he part of Earth? Wait.
Transient, the matter manipulator.
God damn it, would you fucks just get out of the building already? Christ.
And Jace, the technomancer.
Alright, I finished filing the OSHA report. Now I get to sit back and watch the government yell at the government.
Last time on Master Not, attempting to prepare for a wedding, they were invited to our heroes learn of a possible growing team of threats manifested by one of their consistent foes, secretive military programs. Right as they learned this info, 2 separate alarms went off. Spencer answered one, an attack on the industrial sector by the matter splatter of vomiting giant rats. After growing into his kaiju kitten form, Spencer was able to fling the matter splatter into a distant crater with a kaplatter. The second alarm, a crumbling processing plant inside the mining facility, was attended to by the remainder of the group. Jace sits in the vehicle, guiding Rocket Prime to the rescue operations, while Transient heads upstairs to find further people in danger. Puddle, on the other hand, decided to take a turn with the refiner driver, taking on the form Living Glacier. Will our heroes save everyone inside? And what does Puddle's new form mean? Find out today. As we return back, Rocket Prime is currently holding on to one person, managing to stave off a fire. Jace, you do see through his personal eyes, there's at least 5 other people currently scattered amongst the rubble and fire littering first floor. There's a stairs heading up to the second floor where you hear a few other people going up there. What will you have Rocket Prime do now that the OSHA files have been sent and emailed properly?
Quick note for you, Mayor. Fire on this bottom floor has been suppressed.
Right, forgot. One of it's been completely encased in ice.
And
yeah,
the
but-
other part got taken out by the smoke grenade.
Right.
Rockin' Prime is going to retrieve one additional person before taking the one he already has and the one he's just picked up outside.
All right, so he's going over towards the main towards the center area, right? Where the pile of boxes are for the second guy?
Yes.
As you do, the boxes beside him seem to erupt and explode from a contained blast inside. While most of the fire that you guys were able to see were put out, this one was containing a small fire that has led up to an explosion. One of the propane tanks has been lit and now is igniting. How will Rocket Prime defend the people in his arms?
Jace, you need to file another OSHA report.
Alright, he will file that OSHA report, but if I recall correctly, he's got a built-in thing for this. Let me check my Chapter 9 self again, but I'm pretty sure that he has a deflection shield, so he's just gonna deflection shield.
I got a 5-second physics lesson here. If it's a propane tank, a lot of that metal is going to go right into those people. Thank you, Rocket
Deflection
Prime.
shield.
Deflection shield, yes.
Counterpoint, deflection shield.
Yes.
Double checking damage rates.
But what's going to stop their brain from impacting the back of their skull?
The fact that deflection shield is also managing to deflect the blast.
True.
Deflection shield, protection 3, +3 toughness, impervious, subtle, sustain. Love that double subtle. Impervious.
What's the impervious rating on it?
I believe it's 3.
So it's
Yep.
anything up to a damage rating of 3. GM, it will be up to you how you want to roll this shrapnel, or what damage rank you want to roll the shrapnel at.
Well, he described the wooden crates there.
No, they're
So-
propane tanks.
Well, he also
Underneath is
mentioned
a
crate.
propane tank. Yes,
Okay.
it is a propane tank that's hiding amongst a bunch of wooden crates. And because it is wooden crates, it's mostly a chemical volatile explosion. But thankfully, your deflection shield is strong enough to actually ward off most of the burning liquids that would cost the two individuals around you. The third individual, though, will be needing to make I believe, a fortitude check, as he does get caught in the splatter, in the splash zone.
Would you like to know the technical name for these kinds of explosions, Dion?
The chemical burns? Yeah.
No, the propane tank exploding.
Please, yes.
It'll depend on the size and make of the propane tank.
It really does, but if it's usually a pressurized blast, but it's called a blevy. And the reason why they're so dangerous is because they happen instantaneously.
And this poor son of a gun has been caught in the eruption. He still is breathing, but most of the damage seems to be around his limbs. His left leg and arms are horribly burned and bleeding gravely.
Ooh.
Rockin' Prime will do his best to evacuate the third one as well before he takes all three out of the building. And then Jace, if I still have turn left at that point, will move over to begin medically treating the third, because he has medicine, I believe.
I'm pretty sure he does.
He's got a lot of shit.
It's called treatment.
Yeah,
Okay.
treatment.
That might be one of my 17s. Hang on.
We return to Jace never checking his character sheet, but always having the right thing.
Correction. That's now an 18.
Eh.
All right, as he manages to go from one wall into another, busting out the window here at the very bottom beside the currently transformed puddles, as you're able to see out the vehicle window.
I will get out of the vehicle and hover over there. I'm masked up. And I will try to treat.
Let me double check your treatment, and
It's a plus 18. It's one of my 6 devastating rolls.
6 devastating rolls. Love that.
fair enough.
It's one of the 2 I almost never use, but boy is it useful.
Why don't you use it more often?
Because we
Because you
haven't
guys
had to
don't get
treat
hurt
anybody.
enough.
Yeah, no, nobody gets injured enough, and we have someone who has the heal power.
All of you are regenerating or impervious. The only one who can get hurt is Jace, and Jace can't treat himself.
No, but
Okay.
these poor civilians do get caught in these terrible, terrible accidents. Go ahead and give me that treatment roll as you look over at the immediate most injured one, the one that caught outside of the deflection field.
Yeah.
19 for a natural 1, so I'm going to use a Benny.
Oh man.
Because I do not want a natural 1 a treatment, even if it is a 19 total.
Yeah, because that would definitely be a -5 on that one.
34.
However, so there's so you go over there and you look at the arm, and for a split second you feel this twinge of unease because it's the first time you actually seen anybody in legitimate condition like this up close. Most of the other stuff was covered in weird, different colored gore. This was a legitimate on-course accident, but you're able to like blink yourself and pull up like medical documents inside your mind as you pull out your personal medical bag. I believe you have a medical kit on person, right? Or Rocket Prime produces that. Yeah, Rocket Prime opens up and produces a medical kit out of a suit. You grab and begin following treatment. Every so often, sending a little bit of like that electrical pulse from your lighting and from your synapse, from your ability to cause seizures. You reroute that to cut off most of the pain to help calm the person down to avoid them from going into shock. Bleh. As you wrap that up, remove metal pieces what you can, magnetize some others, and pull those out, and then wrap up the injuries as best as possible without causing any internal bleeding. or try to minimize that. He will still need to go to a hospital, but this person is not going to die from onset immediate trauma. Way to go.
You did it. You used the
And I guess
skill
that's my
first time.
turn.
More time.
You used
I
the
guess
skill.
that's my turn.
Right. Then we will move on to. We said Transient was next, and then Puddles was last time, right?
I do believe so.
Yeah.
So Transit, you're coming up towards you are coming up towards the wall, but you have a person in arms that you just pulled out from the side
Oh, no.
railing.
I didn't pull nobody. I told him to get the fuck out, and he ran.
Right. Okay. You're able to yell at the person to tell them to run. You have as you go back over towards the second floor, you're able to see the set of stairs connecting it to the major railway around the building, the walkway
All right.
perimeter around the second floor. Mostly graded, mostly metal. As you do see one person clinging to the side of what seems to be broken set off near the south end of the walkway. Another person is trying to shout for help as they seem to, as that person and an unconscious person on the opposite side of you are blocked off from what it looks like as several ends seem to have been broken off. How will you
All
approach
right.
the situation?
The person who's hanging there is currently above a giant block of ice.
Yeah.
Yes. Are you just gonna let them slip off into the giant block of ice? Slip, hurt themselves, break a body, if they aren't acrobatic enough.
Oh, you mean the giant block of ice that's nearly a story tall? It's containing that entire section of fire.
Help! I don't want to fall onto thick ice. I'm allergic to cold.
To be very fair, they're afraid.
If it wasn't for Puddle, I wouldn't believe you one bit.
If it wasn't for Puddle, the Puddle's there.
Thank you, pedal forward. Let's see backing me up on this.
It's not my turn. I'm about to
That
do
is my
something
fault.
so stupid it's not even funny.
Don't.
damn,
That's
here's a
my
question.
thing to do.
Does Puddle get a Benny for doing good because they have just saved that person from getting thrown out the window by Transient?
Oh, this is the one that's above the it's the star on the left side of the X on the bottom side of level 2.
Yep.
The one that's right next to my stairs is already out the building.
Yes. Sorry for not updating the things just yet. 1 second.
And I haven't moved this turn. I've been on the second floor after I told the person to get the hell out. So I'm going to go to the one who's clutching life and limb and is literally like 3 feet above the ice.
You get over to the 70-year-old
There's a 70-year-old? Oh, fair enough. It's a chemical plant.
clutching life and limb to the edge, railing, not wanting to fall even 3 feet.
I bodily haul them up using the rest of my movement. You, get the hell out.
Oh, what? Thank you. Oh, my bones. Oh.
That's oh boy.
Yeah, no, if their bones are aching that much as a 70-year-old in a chemical plant, they wouldn't be working.
We'll see what happens.
Explosion caught me off guard. Almost fell.
And then I will proceed to extend the catwalk and attach it to the other side.
Alrighty, as the 70 old man makes his way over towards the stairs behind you with a clap, go ahead and give me your alchemist check to reform the walkway.
27.
Hey, you made it. I mean, it's basic. straight. Just a flat line, flat plate across with just enough railing for the other person to make it across. It's attached properly.
Congratulations, you literally just described a catwalk.
There you go.
Lock me all you want. I am still the GM here.
You grab your buddy and get the hell out.
Yeah, sure. I think there's still a few people upstairs, but I think the roof collapsed.
I think you'd know if the roof collapsed.
Transient is not being helpful today.
No, just pointing out the obvious.
During an emergency, yes. Very, very much. Thank you, Transient. We couldn't have done it without you.
I'm being very calm and I'm telling him to get the hell out. What more do you want from the socially awkward guy?
Fair enough. Just making a comment like, thank you, Transient, for doing the one thing no one else could possibly do.
Be blunt as fuck? That will be
Yes.
my turn.
All right.
Honestly,
As you
might
make your
actually be the only one here who can do that.
One of the
Make
only
your
people here.
you make your shout, and as you end your turn, the person you were shouting at makes his way over towards your catwalk and ends his turn on there with the unconscious person on their shoulders. On the shoulders. Funnels, it is currently your turn as you're still in front of the building.
No, I was inside the building.
As you move, as you're currently still inside the building, there are still 3 other people currently discombobulated and thrown off guard by everything, and are still in a panic. How will you help them and get them out of here? And what else? will
I'm
you do?
stopping the fire.
Fair enough.
Damn, I did some research. A little bit. I would like to drop the temperature to the point where the fuel freezes.
You mean where the oxygen freezes?
No, the fuel.
Oxygen is fuel.
I understand that,
How
but there's also
cold are you
wood and
making
stuff.
it?
I'm sorry I missed what you said, Ace.
Can you describe to me or inform me of what degrees oxygen, not oxygen, gasoline freezes at?
I can look it up real quick.
Wait, why are they using gasoline in a chemical plant?
Yeah.
They can-
It's a point of reference.
Alright,
It's probably not-
so
By all means,
gasoline gasoline has an extremely low freezing point.
not
Oxygen freezes at negative 220 something.
Oh, okay.
degrees Fahrenheit.
Well,
All right.
gas freezes at negative 295 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yes. But it's probably not gasoline. It's probably something close to it. So ballpark 50 degrees or so.
Okay. Considering that this would be okay.
Take a breath. You've got this.
Go ahead and give me your freezing roll.
There's not a freezing roll.
What stat do you use for freezing?
There's no stat attached to freezing.
What rank are you?
She just does it. And
Hey,
she's
my-
currently
My ice shapes is at 12,
Okay.
along with
Probably
ice
you-
blast at 12.
How big is the room, DM?
Processing plants. We're talking main sets.
I can do 1,200 feet.
Cubed or squared?
Volume,
1,200 feet.
Cubed. It's by
Four-
volume, so it's cubed.
volume 4,000 cubic
Oh
feet.
yeah, 4,000 cubic feet.
4,000 cubic feet.
Okay. I'm going to give you a rough ballpark estimate here, but that's a lot of area to cover all at once with not ice, but precise cold temperatures. However,
I told you I was gonna do something crazy.
No, I
Uh-huh.
understand. I still will need a power roll from you as you try to do this in order to avoid harming anyone else caught in the cold way as you're
No.
dropping the whole
No,
of the.
you aren't understanding, Ace.
And
I
please,
don't care about the other people. I care about the fire going out.
I believe that would be just going off, but it would probably hurt a lot of people.
Yes. Unfortunately, there will be frostbite.
Oh, that'd be worse than frostbite, I'll tell you that.
I'm aware. Out of
I'm gonna
character, but
make a series of toughness checks then.
there's a roll, 17.
I think he was trying to find a check for precise control, but if you're just not worrying about that, then
Yeah.
The thing is, precise control is built into the power.
over every square cubic feet.
No, it's the fact that she can cover that much area. If it's
Wait,
shapeable area, she has
Formed
precise
solid objects
control.
out of nowhere. They may be solidified energy, hardened water or air, transmuted bulk matter, ice, stone, or some other mediums, depending on the effect's descriptors. You can form
I
any
would say
simple
just
geo.
move on at that point. But that's up to the DM.
Well, that's why I need to make a series of checks. So forgive me.
Transient's also gonna have to make those checks. Because, yes, he's wearing a coat, but this is very fucking cold.
Transient
gonna
doesn't
be-
particularly care.
I'm going to be really honest with you, because I work in a warehouse, kind of. The amount of shit that's about to explode from the cold temperatures is insane. People, too. Because people have water in their bodies.
The dice have been cast at this point, I think.
Yeah. I'm just trying to illustrate that she can do it, but this is very, very much not precise.
Not trying to be
Okay.
precise.
That's kind of what I was trying to repeat
So-
by that.
The DC for your proper precision, was 22 from what I was looking at, as it does show a DC around it. Going off of that, I added 5 due to your personal negligence, not caring, only focusing on snuffing out the fire in the entire building. That said, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 people are at high risk of hypothermia, given the flash frost shock that you've caused. Several others are currently going through moderate frostbite. Only a few seem to be going through minor frostbite. Suffice to say, any explosions that was going to happen within the building after that one has been snuffed out, thanks to you. But now the entire scape of the building has changed as your main focus to chill the air has caused series of snapping. The metal railings that was just formed has now started to crack again due to becoming so brittle. The structure, while no longer crumbling due to the heat, is now being afflicted with a flash freeze, causing several metal areas to immediately snap due to the contracting as quickly as it has to.
Yeah, it was expanding before, but like due to fire, and now all of a sudden it's super cold. Physics.
From there, we will have people attempt to make their way out as ice seems to form. The people on the walkway closest to Transient are making their way. Did you make that roll, by the way, Transient? Completely missed.
Against the toughness, no. I'm choosing to automatically fail it.
I see. Yes.
Transient, you without knowing, well, no, you are aware of what exactly was happening, but it happened in a flash. As you find your boots almost attaching to the metal due to the sudden freezing. You're able to. Yes,
Would you like some help on the physics aspect of this?
please.
So, to make it very brief, but also pretty descriptive, all of the water that was in the air is now completely frozen. Which means that all of the water piping in this building has suddenly frozen.
There's no water piping. That's why OSHA was called.
There's
Yeah.
no water piping in this entire building, no plumbing, no nothing in this entire building.
If there was water piping to be used for a sprinkler system, they have failed. From what was observable, from
Yeah.
what Jace has found and has yet to transfer and inform everyone else, the lines were definitely out of date, rusted, even not even properly checked since
No,
Well,
19.
the description you gave for the building was there was no fire suppression system.
Yes,
Oh,
that
yeah.
is true. However, that does not mean there isn't water running through the building to do bathrooms or sinks or water fountains.
Yes, that's
But that's not the most important thing here. The most important thing here is that you've got chemicals that are endothermic burning, and then you froze them. Would you like to know what happens when you do that?
The Spence, I'm going to stop you there. They're exothermic right now.
That's true. Most of them were, but I can guarantee you there's at least a few of them. But it's not really going to do all that much, but it will. You're essentially freezing the lungs of every person inside of this building because you're not caring about area. Like, imagine breathing in near sub-zero temperatures instantly. The water inside of your lungs, your capillaries, your everything are going to start freezing and getting frostbite. So most of the people here are probably choking, coughing, and spitting up blood.
Well, yeah, but there's also the fact that this is a cartoon.
Yes, this is also true. That's why I said it's up to the DM. But that's just basically what's happening. There's frost on the windows, there's frost on the floor, frost on everything. Fires are out, but it's hard to move through the building because frost. And things are snapping.
so. Yes, several series of chemicals frozen now are currently exposed, leaking out into the air. But currently frozen. It's not as fast. It's a slow vapid. Still slow enough for you guys to get any person still alive out of the building before any further collapsing happens.
I
Returning
guess-
back. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, returning back to the top of the round, Jace, you have just finished bandaging up the first person.
Hold
the
on.
second.
I failed. I chose to fail the freeze against the
Right.
freeze.
Backing up a bit. My apologies. Transit. Once more, you feel your body almost crack as several points in your joints, your body, your skin, all is suddenly exposed to this intense, deep temperature. The sweat on your forehead underneath the mask has not only evaporated, but now feels like the rest of your skin is now plated in a sheen of ice underneath the mask. You feel lightheaded as as your heart almost seems to slow due to the immediate uh chilling. You're feeling confused as your body is now sending mixed chemicals going from, all right, we are overheating, we need to try to cool down, to we're freezing, we need to cut off all energy to the arms and legs in order to preserve the core temperature of the metal body. Oh God, is a deep temperature. You're going numb.
Okay.
Take a bruise, and you're currently dazed, if not hindered as well. If you stay too long inside this building now, you will have to make another check, and if you fail that one, it will become an incapacitation
If it wasn't for my regeneration.
if it wasn't for your regeneration.
How do you regenerate when your flesh is frozen?
Because I'm also immortal.
How do you become immortal when you're frozen?
I mean, he still would have to die first, and his body would have to be
And
out in the frost.
in response to your regeneration, it's the Philosopher's Stone. Don't question it.
Right. Okay. Just kind of trying to point out that any metabolism to regenerate your limbs would be frozen.
And it's the Philosopher's Stone which ignores standard physics.
I'll be right back, guys.
The cat needed a moment from the break of logic.
Yeah, no,
Says,
I
"What?"
have.
Go ahead.
My power doesn't convert anything. It literally creates it out of nothing.
All right, making a note. Future references. No Philosopher's Stone bullshit. Hey, Spence. Welcome back. Proper timing.
Yeah, Jim, how do you think I've been converting people into sand and vice versa?
I mean, you have not been converting people into sand. You've converted limbs into sand. I mean, you've converted one person into sand.
Yes, I converted flesh and bone, which consisted of a variety of iron, calciums, and a lot of other complex chemicals, into basic silicate.
I understand that. I understand that was part of the Philosopher's Stone's ability. I wasn't questioning that.
So where are we again? I'm lost
So,
now.
Jace,
Jace,
Jason, from your perspective, you just witnessed what sounds like the air hissing and then screaming before crackling suddenly as you look over, and what was originally a processing plant on fire, now a processing plant on the verge of cracking in on itself due to freezing over at extreme temperatures.
Okay, Brock and Prime dispatched inside to help bring people outside, and then I guess I will continue going around treating the injured.
You turn towards the other two people who wave you off. We're fine. We're fine. We got saved in the nick of time. But that doesn't look good. And there's people up at the third floor.
Third floor, got it. I send that message to Rock and Prime, and I just imagine thrusters activate flying up.
At your command, to the air, I dare!
I think he may have freezed one of his circuits. That's not one of his usuals.
Riker Prime slowly evolving into a singularity at each single session. Really gonna need to go over a list of what program quips and phrases he's supposed to say, because we did not agree to any of that.
The only one that's technical and official that I'm aware of is by our powers combined, I am Rockin' Prime. The rest has been Rockin' Prime freestyling, I guess.
Like I'm noticing him, the processing chip for silence was replaced with processing chip for 90s and 80s references.
Where'd you get this chip from? I don't know. I just got my hands on whatever chip I could. Meanwhile, back at the military base, where the fuck are the radio chips?
I had this one chip to put in our RC that would have radios, and now it's missing.
Question for you, Jace. Did you accidentally grab one of Himmel's chips as well?
No, I specifically did not use Himmel's bullshit because it was Himmel's bullshit.
He made sure to grab them before they were programmed Himmel style. So Dace, through Rockin' Prime's eyes as he goes up, there is no window on the third floor. It is currently all now frosted over. You believe you would have no problem bursting through a little wall.
No, I was about to say, if there's just a wall in the way, it was extremely hot and then it was flash frozen, so it's probably kind of brittle. He could probably just walk through it.
I was about to say. So you watch him and you watch through your senses as he proceeds to go through the wall. Because of how he's set up, he can just walk into the wall and it breaks into the third floor rooming. Bring him to the corner of the first corner, southeastward corner of the third level. Where he sees nothing. Nothing but office desks and no one underneath it. Everything is currently empty in this room.
Are there any heat signatures that are slightly higher than all of everything else?
We lost him again.
Yeah.
Spence, I know you were just as afraid as I am to hear that question, as I have to imagine that, yes, there's at least 6 slightly above the current frosted temperature signatures in the level that he's currently in. All of them are emitting westward towards the northward. Yeah, with some towards the middle area.
I tell Rockin' Prime to investigate the heat signatures.
It's your command. I am your hand.
Jace just stares at the floor for a moment, hearing this one. I imagine him quietly asking himself, if a machine evolves backwards far enough, can it still achieve singularity?
Progress backwards enough. Robot revert to caveman to gain soul again. So, as you get the confirmation, he proceeds to make. Do you want him to go left or do you want to go westward or northward first?
Which side of the building was the most screwed up before the flash freeze?
Northwood would be the most messed up, as even from your perspective, you can see like what should have been heavy singe marks coming from the wall have now frosted over into
So it's cold metal, but it's charred black.
yes, now frosted
Okay.
and creaking and breaking in certain areas.
I'll have Rock and Prime go to the north side first.
All right, so him going into the northward area brings him to the next room here. I will take a picture and then send it up. I still need to do that with the rest of them. Forgive me, but he still has not found anyone in particular. He's going room by room, and so how many? He's going through the first 2 rooms before he will stop for your next order, and we will switch over to transient.
Right.
So once more, there is no one in this next room that he comes up to, though you do see signs of what should have been another chemical fire, as several stacks of different arsenic acids, different solutions are currently potted away inside protective pots that were currently exposed to the fire. Now frozen shut and resealed with some of the melted metals being used to reseal some of the chemicals. One chemical pot in particular seems to have cracked open from the flash freezing and was leaking if there were still any inside of it. That's what he sees, but no one else is in this room. As he resumes moving forward to the next room, there is again no one in this room in particular. Still mostly damages, caved in operation papers about the processing plants. As his vision turns, he immediately sees a heat signature westward outside across from him. If you, at your call, he will be heading westward next. Moving over to transient.
Yep.
Transient, as you attempt to move, everything hurts. Your joints scream, your muscles almost want to split as you try to flex. Everything hurts. And the annoying feeling about it all is that you are getting sensations back from inside as everything attempts to start healing from there. You have you're no longer hindered now. Still slightly dazed, still hurting, still bruised, but you're able to at least move. If not make an action at your full capacity.
Okay. So we still have the one guy on the catwalk that's in front of me, correct?
Two people on the catwalk as he is bringing his unconscious friend over, but with the sudden freezing of the entire complex, the railing that you have made has already started showing signs of cracking and uh, wearing down from the cold itself at the sudden flashing. The people are struggling to make it over, given that they seem to have while the person who is holding the unconscious person doesn't seem to be too hurt, the unconscious person seems to have almost lost signs of life. They are starting to turn blue.
Okay. So let's see here. Got a quick look at something. Shiftable area. Let's do a check.
Need to update the map for the group. Updated Discord. Ah, so that's what happened to our poor cat man.
So I'm simply going to reinforce and restore the walkway from the opposing end all the way to the hole I made in the wall with the stairs down.
One more time.
I'm going to reinforce and restore the entire walkway from where I connected to the other side all the way to the stairs.
That you made. Okay. Go ahead and give me an alchemy check.
Okay, let's see. So let me check something else real fast because it's been a while since I've had one of these. Okay, that's only 2 resistance checks, so 25.
It's enough as you clap again and smack and activate. The walkway is able to clear itself up of the heavy frost that was built up from the sudden drop that was caused by puddles. You're able to have everything reform properly and even added just enough of a grip style on the path for people to not slip up as they walk past.
It's not just the area that I created. I'm extending that all the way to my hole in the wall.
Right. You can even you can even see the elderly gentleman who was having issues seem to still be able to make it steadily over towards the stairs that you have made. Thanks to the refining of the walkway, there's enough railing and enough grip for him to make it to your stairs. The stairs themselves, as well, have been reinforced now, no longer just being a regular metal catwalkway, but actually reinforced railings.
And that will be my turn.
All right. Go ahead and note that your stone is craving. After all this menagerie of alchemizing and suffering. Puddle. Your power draw has been able to freeze any fire that you would have seen or sensed in this building. The roof to ground level, it is cold enough that you are sure that there is no fires going on. But the cracking and snapping of certain cables and certain metals around inform you that you have frozen the buildings in such a quick manner that is causing the integrity of the building to to degrade faster. What will you
Well,
do?
I'll let up on the ice and let the desert heat it.
Okay, you relax. You're freezing, allowing the desert heat to try to warm things up. It is still going to take some time for it. What else would you like to do?
I guess I'm gonna go find people.
There are 3 people to your left, one immediately still stumbling on the ground in the stupor, one currently clutching the railings of the stairs, now seemingly stuck and frozen there, and then a person by the giant block of ice encased fire, currently passed out from from the flash freezing.
I will go get them. If anyone's stuck to any of the ice, I'll use Ice shifting, which is move object 3.
Alrighty. Move object 3, limited ice and snow.
Mhm.
You can move objects at a distance without touching them. Nice. So
Yeah,
you're
I'll
able to-
basically move the chunk of the ice that's like attached to them out of the building.
Alrighty. So as you go over to the person to your immediate left, you pick them up with your form, double checking your strength score.
I got a 4.
That is still stronger than most people.
Mm-hmm.
You lift this person up who looks like he should be about 210, definitely hefty. And strangely to you, he feels no heavier than maybe 50 pounds. A little struggle, but nothing you're not used to.
4 is my usual strength.
Yeah, but you're normally in water form.
No, 4 is my usual strength in any form.
But you're usually in water form when you're lifting things. But okay.
But I've lifted transient not in water form before too.
That was in between sessions. No, canonical. I'm joking.
It's whatever.
I would argue that transient is not a good baseline. There's like a 25% reduction there at least.
Yeah, hard to say. I mean, he's mostly
Wait.
Redstone.
Only a 25% reduction?
At least.
I was expecting a higher reduction.
The minerals you intake. Finding my own death born aside, but you're able to pick up the person nearest to you. You're able to pick up. I haven't seen that in a minute. You're able to pick up the person that's next to the ice. They almost ragdoll in your arms, while the first person seems to be somewhat able to hold themselves up a bit as you're lifting them. You go over to the third person, and as you're lifting them, you feel a little tug, and that with a single thought, what's the frost that was attached to their hand shimmies off with them and lets go of the railing. Which way are you taking them? North, south, east, or west of this building?
Probably near where everyone else is.
You did, as you were freezing things, you did see out of the side of your eye a hole made by transient as he's pulling people up and around there. You do see him up on the second floor, and there's a stair step where you pulled the guy from the railing that was frozen to off that heads straight up to the second floor railing area.
Oh,
Did you want to go that
no,
way?
I don't want to bring them up a floor. I want them near Jace's people.
All right, then that would Jay. Then you did see Rock and Prime erupt from the northeastern corner area. There is a huge wall where the window was that Rock and Prime erupted there. You believe, because you aren't able to see outside the walls just yet,
Yeah.
that Jay should be around that area, if not close by that wall. So from where you're at, you can either head towards where he's at or head back to where you originally were at the beginning, which was just the southward entrance.
I'm heading towards Jace.
You'll take the southward entrance and able to see Jace just finishing up tending to one of the person being waved off by two people. You were able to bring him the 3 people in your armstead. As Jace, you now see 2 people badly frostburned and 1 person mildly frostburned. Jace, Rockin' Prime is still making his way and has started. Have you made the call for him to start moving towards the westward area, or did you still want him to clear the north portion.
Clear the north because there were definitely heat signatures there that he picked up on.
I did say,
Oh, right. Sorry.
damn it, did it not load up? Okay, the first one loaded up where Puddles was, which I need to amend now that I made motions with her. We load up Transient's map and then Jace's map.
So was the heat signatures he was detecting the pots that had been slightly melted and then frozen shut?
At first, but after he got into that room, he noticed the slightly above normal, slightly above freezing temperatures in the western areas, as I was saying. The stars that marked out on the new map that he's in, the one that where you can see the RP, is the signatures that he sees. More than likely, the people.
In that case, that is where he will go.
He erupts out the side of this room into the hallway that seems to separate the series of rooms in this office section of the building, and then immediately bursts into the office room where one of the workers, another elderly lady who's putting away files, seems to have collapsed upon herself due to the sudden chilling, shivering, but alive.
So there's an office worker and an elder lady.
Yes, the office worker is unresponsive at the moment. The elderly lady is on the ground.
Rocking Prime will collect the survivors and then, I don't know, Jack Baker is weighing out the nearest wall.
All right. Nearest wall will be the immediate west, as he's still sensing another signature in that area.
In that case, he will Jack Baker towards the signature first.
Picking up the unconscious office worker and the barely conscious elderly office worker, he bursts into the next room where he sees one of the family friends. Where is he? Tom Relic, where he sees Tom Relic, who has been working around here and seems to have just gotten an upgrade in his promotion in his line of work, and seems to be working in the office only for his office to now be suddenly frozen. He is he is mildly in pain, as his office seems to have been one of the few that has a personalized AC unit that he has brought in. Now turning against him.
So, office worker on one shoulder, Relic on the other, old lady in the arms, and then he leaves the building.
The closest way to leave the building would be heading southward. He erupts past another two sets of rooms going to each other as he runs in between, back out into the hallway with everyone inside, and then busts into a peculiar room. This room seems to be a series of chemical notes, as well as depth recordings of the current binding process. One of them seems to be pointing out where where heavy amounts of material has been pulled up, where they pulled up materials for gold and for precious gems. They've been noted in certain areas. Some spots are more known for rubies, some spots are more known for silver, some spots are more known for gold, other spots are there are different spots that are showing, more likelihood for this type of mineral to be pulled up. And there's there's like a spot that they've circled. It is randomly huge, and they've simply labeled this unharvestable.
Interesting.
with
Well,
question
eidetic memory. Moving on. Let's get these people out of here.
as he bursts through the side of the opposite wall and starts jetting down back towards you. Puddles, you now have Rock and Prime behind you with another 3 people. Jace, everyone is growing. You now have a steady crowd growing near you and around the Humvee, still close by the building.
I would like to send a message to whatever communication device they have at the front gate to dispatch emergency services back to this location to pick up the injured. And
Alrighty.
then I will continue with treatment.
Moving back over to transient. The people that were currently on the top area have been pulled out. Not the top area, but the middle area that you were on were pulled out. You did not see anyone else on there. You are still suffering heavy freezing. And while you were expecting your days to go away, it seems to slightly linger this round. What will you do?
All I can do, get out to my stairs. And end my turn.
Brandon makes his way to the bottom of his stairs. The people that he has sent out are already starting to make their way over towards the rest of the group as they are starting to see them all huddling up. You will be coming down and moving and stopping just by the corner of the southwestern area of the first level.
Alrighty.
Puddles, as you are watching people converge, some are fully conscious. A few others are barely clinging to conscience. You see Rock and Prime come in. A couple of people unconscious. One old lady like shivering constantly in his metallic arms. You do feel worry. Is there anything you want to say or ask before you do anything else? Was there anything else you wanted? Was there any emotions you had planned? Now,
No, I put out the fire. I saved the people.
all right. Double checking your passive perception. You overhear some of them asking if anyone's seen Jeremy, if anyone's seen Heather, if anyone's seen Yanitor or Nyx. There's still at least 3 people inside the building.
Rocking Prime, you should find the other 3 people. They should be warmer than the area.
Confirmed. Already found signatures noted. We'll head there immediately. Thank you, friend of Jace.
I'm going to assume he says something else besides friend of Jace.
You didn't program to say anything else.
It's very clear I'm hiding my identity. He's not bright, but he has above 0 intelligence.
Right, fair point. Thank you for helping Freedom Master. Thank you for the
Let me
correction.
actually go check what his intelligence is.
His intelligence is showing intellect 1.
So he's not the brightest, but he's also not a moron.
So yeah, rephrasing that once more. Thank you for pointing it out. Thank you for assisting, Master. Proceeding forward. But are you? Was there anything else you wanted to do before waiting for Rock and Prime to come back with the other survivors?
No, I don't have any passive abilities, really.
Is there any possibility I can say something real quick, or do I have to wait for my turn to say things?
It is fine. going in between and moving on to your turn, you're feel free to have feel free to talk.
Jace is going to look over to her and say, Puddle, Glacier, Iceberg. I don't know what you're called at the moment, but you have medical training, right? I only have 2 sets of hands. I can't help everyone at once.
I do. Yes.
And Jace going to continue doing treatments while Rockin' Prime is back in the building to find the 3 remainders.
All right, so go ahead and give me another treatment check as you move on to the next person who seems to have been brought completely unconscious. At that, Rock and Prime ascends and starts
18.
moving.
Not 18, 22.
I would also like to. I know that my turn was passed, but I didn't take any actions. I'd like to do a treatment too.
Go for it. We'll say you were holding your action to help with the treatment.
One higher than Jace.
So you see Jay start focusing on one of the unconscious workers, and you decide to take a moment to focus on the other unconscious co-worker. You both are able to ascertain that you're able to make sure that they were still breathing, ascertain if there was any bodily injuries. Jace, you're able to find that they may have sprained their neck, causing when it might have hit their head, causing a concussion. Attempted to mitigate the concussion using your neuropathy powers, aneurysm ability to unaneurysm a concussion. Well, you were able to find that the person became unconscious due to dehydration from the flash freezing. And even though you are currently in ice form, you are able to shape enough of the ice back into the person to where it will melt immediately, returning some hydration to them in a bit of a mist style fashion.
Okay.
As Rocket Prime moves back up and he immediately heads towards the first heat signature as he bursts through the room close by that point of interest that you found. Inside is happens to be, I did not write these names down, Janitor Nix, who seems to be head first in his own bucket. I'm stuck! I can't get out! Help! I mean, his bucket is one of the like 3 feet large trash cans that rolls around on wheels. And during the flash freezing, he seems to have found himself caught in it and then stuck to the frozen to the plastic.
Mm.
The wheels have frozen onto the
So-
tiles, preventing him from being able to like flip it forward. Go on.
No, he's stuck in it, but this also has an open top of sorts, yes?
Yes.
Can Rockin' Prime, now that this thing is frozen rather than just being plastic, can he Captain America Age of Ultron this like it's a piece of lumber?
And just lift it out of it.
I mean, rather than lift him out of it, just pull the thing apart around him so he falls out of it.
Oh yeah, just like splits it by hand. Yeah, he can. Go ahead and make me a strength check real quick.
Let me post the GIF that's requisite for this. Assuming Discord decides to let me have GIFs tonight. It's saying no. If someone else wants to post that, they can. I'll go find his strength so I can do a strength check. All right.
His strength is a 2.
All right. $14.
more than enough as he peels it somewhat like a frozen banana, peel by peel, as the janitor is able to be allowed to be not upside down. I was starting to have the blood pool in my head. Thank you, giant metal man.
Jace will speak through Rockin' Prime then and have him point his arm in the direction of the location where everyone is gathering. Please head outside if you are in need of any medical treatment. The others are gathering out there now.
Very polite too. Thank you, metal man. I'm a just step. Oh, that is right. We're third floor. I need to head towards the stairs. As he begins to make his way to the room northward and then out the door, going around through the obvious way.
Is Rockin' Prime able to find anybody else on this turn?
He is able to move 2 more spaces. The next room that he follows follows Janitor Nixon is currently empty, but he sees an immediate signature in the next room. So he bursts into the next room, almost running over Henrietta. I said Henrietta, right?
I think it was Heather.
Heather, thank you. Busts into save Heather, who is shooken up by the fact that some metal being has burst into her office that looks like it was just frozen shut, but she seems to be holding out fine and happy that she now has a way out. I'm afraid. Thank you, Mr. Oh God, are you a robot?
If you are in need of medical attention, please evacuate. Follow the janitor, Mr. Nix. He is headed in the right direction.
Thank you. Shoot.
I'll have Jace also ask, I can't remember what the last guy's name is. Do you happen to know where the last guy was?
Last guy, if Nix isn't up here, and I think because everyone else was female up on the 3rd floor, aside from Janitor Nix and I think I said Jerry. I said Jerry. I think he's a couple rooms that way as she points northward.
And I assume then Rockin' Prime will take over with the "thank you for your assistance, citizen" or something like that.
Thank you for your assistance in coordinating this rescue operation.
And I guess that's my turn.
Granted, you're able to see everyone start grouping up, and you're able to see Puddles and Jace attending to the wounded. 3 people you escorted, only a couple of them are mildly hurt from the flash cold. The building itself is starting to creak somewhat louder as certain parts seems to certain sections start to split up by the 3rd floor, with the constant breaking from Rockin' Prime just bursting through the wall, all Kool-Aid style.
And he will slowly make his way to the others.
You make your way all the way up to where Puddles, who's currently in this new armored, decked out form, she looks like a marine scuba diver with the head of an orca. And she, while oozing deep frosted air all around her, is also emitting a subtle, gentle cool. It's very comparative to the desert sun that is still beating down on you, given that it is only 11 o'clock. It is pretty heinous. Not heinous. It is actually relieving. My apologies. I am mixing my words there. The DM is almost in need of a 15. But right now, You make it over to where Puddles is. You're able to trade some words if you want to, real quick, before we move over to Puddles.
Given that is everything I can do while dazed, we may want to move them away from the building. And he'll do a small gesture at the surrounding people. And that will be turn.
Puddles, you do hear Transient make this offer, and as you turn to him, you see that he is frostbitten terribly. You see that parts of his arms are actually have actually split and seem to be somewhat bleeding in places. You see the mask that he's wearing has actually cracked down almost completely from one corner to the mouth area where it stopped. And while you're looking into his eyes from your armored form, you can see one of them has turned bloodshot from how much the cold has hurt him.
You also need healing. Oh boy, this isn't first aid healing.
We can deal with me later. We just need to get them further from the building. It's likely to collapse.
Well, first I pick him up. And then I'll pick up 2 more people and start moving them if I can.
You're able to, with your strength, as the person you just healed seems to come back to senses to be able to be lifted up and move. The elderly lady who is still shivering is offered to you by Jace to be held, as well as the person who has had his entire left side horribly injured due to an explosion. You're able to lift them and start making their way more away from the building. It's at this point you see this blur in the sky come flying down towards you as Spencer arrives around this point in time after having tossed the matter splatter into a nearby canyon and watching him blow up in a blue explosion, unsure if he's still alive or no longer existing. Spencer! Spencer! Spencer?
Yeah.
Oh, I was about to go into a thing. You have just landed with you to see a newly decked out being with a giant fish helmet, carrying a couple people and Transient, who is, for lack of better terms, in pain.
I know where the power plant is.
You know where Wilda is.
Did she push the button?
Yeah, I would have pushed the button. Especially
Yeah,
after
that's right.
seeing Transient.
Yeah. So what do you need me to do?
Uh, we need to move people further from the building.
How much further?
Preferably to the hospital.
As you see her carrying an unconscious elderly lady, or not unconscious, a very shaking elderly lady, and a person who has both his left arm and left leg wrapped in stiff bandages. There are several people who look like they are currently blue from frostbite surrounding Jace, who he's trying to assess and heal. There are a couple people who are just coming around, but others are still unconscious. One person behind Transient is behind where Transient Puddles was is currently being held by another person completely unconscious. There's at least 7 more people to pull away from here.
Okay. Is there a car or a bus nearby?
The Humvee is actually about 12 feet away from everyone.
High occupancy vehicle or not?
Humvee, probably not.
Probably 4 or 5 seats and a trunk.
High
Correction.
occupancy vehicle or not?
Not high occupancy vehicle. You can fit a lot of people in there if you clown car it, but that might not be the best choice here.
DM, what is around me right now?
With your past perception, you were able to see not much in the way of vehicles aside from one currently empty waste rock moving truck.
You mean a biohazard truck?
No, you know how when they fill the rocks before they chemicalize it?
I know you're talking about. That's a mining truck, and it carries a lot of shit.
Yes, but this one seems to be currently empty of said shit and is currently parked just about 20 feet away on the western side, southwestern side of the building area.
Hmm. I'm gonna go over and try and pick it up and see how heavy it is.
Go ahead and give me a strength check.
There
I'm
you
gonna
go.
go do some quick numbers for a mining truck.
Yeah, mining trucks are not light.
They're what, 6, 7 tons?
They're at least
No.
50.
Gross machine weight 1,375,000 pounds.
It's pretty
That's
heavy.
about 50 tons.
Yes, that's about 50 tons. I can't carry it, so instead, thinking. I have a great idea.
I can make extra seats.
Extra seats on what?
Anything. I have ice shapes.
That's great. You and transient. Make more seats on the Humvee.
Okay.
Jace, drive the Humvee to the hospital.
I see he's in his protector form still.
Yes, I am still in my protector form.
Intelligence -1 at least reroutes the brain to thinking differently. Not thinking like a cat, but thinking like a protector.
Yeah.
In brief response, since it's not Jace's turn, he's going to say, "There's one person still unaccounted for in the building that Rock and Prime hasn't been able to find."
I fly over the building.
As you fly over the building, you're able to see 2 giant holes where Rock and Prime has gone through in the 3rd floor south of the building.
I would
There-
like to use a perception check to try and pinpoint a voice and or breathing.
All right, but this one's a bit rough. But go ahead, give me a perception check.
Okay. Hero rolls. That is a 24.
You try to pick up, let your ears and nose do some detecting as you approach the leftmost hole made by Rock and Prime. But over the sounds of stomping and the sounds of people stepping, it's hard to hear any soft breathing. You do pick up that Rock and Prime is several rooms ahead of you and seems to be moving towards another room.
I'll land in the building and look through the rooms.
We will also mention the building inside is probably very cold right now.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I've got fur and I've got toughness 9.
He is Super Cat. How dare you?
Yeah, his toughness, his base toughness probably does a fair bit to protect him.
That's fair. I was just mentioning that cats don't typically like cold.
Cats don't
That's all.
typically like cold, but this is a cat. This is a stupid cat, or rather, a very nice cat. So they will wander through the snow until you remind them that it's cold.
It's not only that, but because he's in his protector form, which is a slightly more shiny with wings.
Yeah,
for
I've
his cat
complete
form.
immunity to cold in protector form. That too.
He
Okay.
enters in the room, and for him, it almost feels like he's just on the outer layer of Earth, flying.
Yeah,
As
and the
you
isosphere.
as you barely touch the ground as you're just floating, double checking each room. The the current room you're in only holds like two giant holes from where Rock and Prime was, as he's not caring for opening doors. Oh, aside from the door that he walked through. That's neither here or there.
Yep.
You do see a wall next to your left, still frozen over. As you move forward, you see an entrance that leads out to the small hallway that leads to the rest of the building here.
I'll go through that.
All right, so as you enter into the small hallway, you do see several. You do see another hole in one of the walls. You do see another hole in one of the walls, and as you look into these holes in the walls, the one to your left only shows like another office building, broken office desk, a cat hanging on a branch poster saying "Hang in there, kid."
How
As you
coincidental.
right, as you look over to your right, you happen to see a room showing several several map points of where they have drilled at. From just standing there, you can see the same chart that Jace was staring at some time ago. Where
Okay.
and for you, you're able to start seeing like the the marks where they show fancy stone signs with different names like ruby, sapphire, emeralds. You don't know what this platinum is, but it looks neat.
Yes. So, question. Uh, because I've been on a site like this before, are there rally points where people go in case of evacuation? Or is that missing too, which is yet another OSHA report for Jace?
From what you recall during your walk through here, what Transient would know, given his actual experience growing up in this area, and what Jace has researched, finding out the recon call for this particular section of area would be more towards the southeastern area, towards one of the gates, the gated areas. Furthest away from the fires, but close enough to one of the exits sections in case they need to, or catch a evacuation ride if they need to.
I'm gonna check the rest of this hallway and then is there a window at the end of this hallway?
The hallway loops around as you circle over, and at the end of the hallway, as you come up, you do see the hallway ends in one way going towards the set of stairs, where you happen to see the last bit of a person descending the stairs going down in.
This is one of the people who were leaving with the janitor, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hmm.
At if you want to go ahead and give me another perception check here.
I'll go ahead. Oh, come on. That's a base 18, so 28.
Prize is not giving.
I
It's not
forgot
counting.
to not do the R thing.
All right, and yeah, you do have a 10, so that would be a 28. So you're looking around. You know that you can hear Rocket Prime approach a room where there might be another person in, and as you're turning away, you do hear in a very almost ghostly whisper, "It's so cold in here." Right by the most northward area, as you just to your left, since you're right by the stair area.
I'm gonna go ahead and move over there. What kind of room does this lead to?
Inside this particular room seems to be a chemical study room where they're double checking the balances of certain solutions. And
Okay.
and what?
It's probably a solid state or a clean room, which means nothing comes in, nothing comes out. unless you go through like 3 locked doors and 1 depressurization thing.
Yes, but for how relaxed this building is, it's only a depressurization door. That seems to be
Automatically locked because it's in emergency mode.
yes. You do happen to see through the window a body there, and for you, the spirit of said person just sitting right next to to their body, shivering, shaking.
Going to rip the doors open.
Give me a strength check.
Okay. Okay. 20 plus.
Kindly refer back to the Captain America tearing the log in half gif.
That is a 16 DM.
Or normally this would not have worked, but given how everything has frozen over and in such a quick manner, the steel door, the reinforced steel door that should have kept you from opening seems to rip the wall it was connected to out along with it. In a bit of a quick jerk manner, you're able to open the door along with the part of the wall that was attached to.
I'm not worried about that right now. OSHA can fix it.
This whole
So-
building's an OSHA violation.
I am going to leave the door on the floor and look at the spirit and look at the body. And I'm going to gently put a hand on the spirit and I'm going to go, "Are you cold?"
Spirit somewhat looks at you. Yes.
I am going to get close to the spirit and kind of sit the body up, and I'm going to have the spirit face their body, and I'm going to go, "I don't think it's your time."
Time?
You froze in here, but I don't think you're dead yet.
Spencer, what will you do with the body and the spirit in hand?
I'm going to do something even crazier than Puddle this session with like 13 minutes left here. DM,
Oh?
I am going to try and put their soul back in their body and bring them back to life. Barely.
How will you be doing this?
So, I am going to sit up, or rather, hold the body. Is there like a table nearby with a ton of chemicals that I can conveniently just throw on the ground?
Yes.
I'm doing
Yeah.
that. It's a ton of expensive weighing equipment, but there's no time. It's an emergency.
Oh my god.
There you go.
No, please describe to me how you're doing this. Even I'm not seeing the
I am-
touch incorporeal in your protector form.
It's not in my corporeal form, but I am back in my regular form now, as I grab the spirit and I lay the body on the table. It is cold, but I am fine.
All right. Yep. All right.
So, let's see how I want to do this. I am going to grab the body and lay it on the table, like I said, and I am going to rub my hands together to make as much warmth as possible and place it over their heart and their neck, trying to feel for a pulse. Because I watched this on CSI Miami.
Okay. Give me
It is absolutely either a supernatural check or a treatment check, and I don't know what my treatment is. It's a -1.
well. I was going to say treatments, but you don't have treatment. I was going to say investigation after that, but you don't have investigation. Since you're doing a lot of this with your hands, give me a dexterity check. Actually,
I actually have a +4 in dexterity. No, there's nothing medical or investigative about this. I am making them alive.
I believe so.
I have
Yeah,
a
let me
question, DM.
Oh,
Go for it.
oh.
Is Rockin' Prime close enough that he could be a mouthpiece for Jace so that he can provide medical advice to Spencer to help with this?
At the moment,
Everything.
Rockin' Prime is going to go grab Jerry, who is in the north area. Not close
Oh,
enough
okay.
yet.
That's a 10.
Spence, do you have any luck points left?
No, I have not been given any more by the DM for literally defeating a kaiju and swimming in water.
You used your luck
Wait.
point as well?
Wait, hold on. Let me check how many bennies I have. Let me see this.
Wait, I could have sworn I gave you a Benny for at least swimming in the
Hey, I do have one.
water.
I'm going to use a benny.
Penny check.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a 20.
That was a 20. That is a 20. You look for a pulse as you warm up attempt to start warming up the body. Spirit sort of looks at you, and their eyes widen as they seem to feel something. As you seem to somewhat feel a very, and I mean very faint pulse.
Question: is this a woman or a man?
There was only 2 men up here. It is a woman.
Okay. Because he is not a total idiot, he is a teenager. He is going to first look around the room. Are there emergency heat blankets or anything, or like a suit he could put on them?
Give me a perception check.
Perception check. This is a +3. I did good. I added this. Oh, that's not so good. Oh,
All you see are chemical boxes and a glass cabinet with a bunch of other vials and cylinders of different long chemical name things that even boggle your current mind state because one of them just wraps around itself 2 times just
okay.
for one name alone, and it becomes a bit bother. No, there is no warming item in here.
I am going to look at the chemist who is sitting in front of me as a spirit and go, "Are there emergency blankets in here?"
We've been petitioning.
Spencer is going to furrow his brow slightly and remember to punch the guy who made this building.
Man, OSHA is gonna bring the fucking hammer down.
I am going to now, because I am still holding this body in the spirit. The clothes that I have on right now are just a tuxedo and a suit and literally everything else. Although I guarantee you I probably would have left that from leaving so fast at the base.
Well, you had your superhero suit on.
Yeah, that's right. It changes into whatever I want, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm going to turn it into a winter parka and a pair of snow pants.
This is a slight perplexed look in the spirit's eyes as you stand from being in this like leathery couple of X-strap X-strap style suits to a proper parka with fur lining all around. Extra fur for the fur boy.
Yes. I'm going to take both of them off. I don't have anything on underneath. I'm just androgynous. And I'm going to I'm going to dress her in both the parka and the snow pants. And,
Jay,
good.
I just want to ask Jace, these suits that you made, if they change into a particular outfit, are they able to be removed like said particular outfit?
Aren't they just
Technically, no,
illusions?
but you could take off the bracelet, put it on somebody else, and then activate it.
I'm gonna do that. Wait, hold on. I can't take up. Oh yeah, slaps the bracelet on her. It's a friendship bracelet, and it keeps you warm.
Go to take suit off. Suit refuses to be taken off. Oh yeah. Presses button on the suit. Immediately naked.
Immediately naked, just completely naked. Just a cat. The most cartoonish looking cat.
Right. Put the bracelet on the currently unresponsive body of the scientist and activate it. You now have an unresponsive scientist now in a parka and fur boots
And snow pants.
and snow pants.
I am going to start performing CPR on them.
All right, we will have you roll that after we get back to you, as putting the bracer on will technically be the end of your turn. We'll hop back over to Jace. Jace, you currently have Rocket Prime bursting into the last room where Jerry, who, by the sheer luck of it all, has been one of the few who doesn't seem too bothered by the cold, as he seems to be enjoying a personalized AC conditioner or set to room temperature. This guy likes the heat, and he was hoping to have it hotter in a already burning building. Now it's frozen.
Hmm.
He is unhappy. Gosh darn it. Did the whole heater for the entire place die off?
Sir, there is currently an ongoing emergency. Please head this way to safely evacuate.
There's an emergency. Thought I turned off the alarms here.
Rockin' Prime's eyes narrow because Jace narrows his own damn eyes.
Oh, well, all right. The emergency. I'll get moving. I'll get moving. Following the following the. Oh God! Wow, that's a lot of cold out here. And
As I said, there is an ongoing emergency. Please proceed to the nearest exit to safely evacuate. The building's structural integrity is not good.
Jerry waddles out of his building, out of his office, and proceeds to follow Rockin' Prime out into the hallway, where you see. I take it this. No, yeah, Spencer is still in the room currently with the scientist, Jerry makes his way towards the stairs.
Rockin' Prime will pause and poke his head in. Do you need any help in here? Jace asks through him.
Spencer, you can respond.
Okay, good. The answer is, she's alive, but barely. I'm trying to keep her heart going.
Would it be a treatment check to give step-by-step instructions?
It would be a treatment check to give step-by-step instructions.
25.
Imagine, if you will, trying to describe how to give CPR to a cat and then having to remind the cat not that hard right as they're about to start doing chest compressions. That's what you're having to remember.
I believe I start the sentence with 1 out of 10 Spencers. All right, Spencer, I need you to begin performing chest compressions. Stick to 1 out of 10 Spencers.
Okay, I see. Uses one finger to do the compressions.
Immediately hear cracking bones. No, you're supposed to hear cracking bones when you do CPR. That means that you're doing it right.
I know. I think it's working. Her bones are getting warmer.
As he continues to push down. Don't forget to pull up every so often.
Yes.
Oh, you pull up too? The heart's weird.
It's to stimulate the feeling of their heart beating. Remember how your heart starts and then closes and then starts again. He's trying his
Yeah.
best to establish the cat. You're trying to replicate that manually.
I see. Beating it would not be a good idea. I see.
1 out of 10 Spencers maximum.
Continues to do chest compressions. But aren't you also supposed to do mouth to mouth?
That's only if they're choking.
Actually, at this time, they were teaching mouth to mouth.
Yes, they were.
Spencer, as you make mentions of mouth to mouth, you lean in. You lean in, your ears next to their nose.
Kage, counterpoint. Jace got all his medical knowledge from the military during the don't ask, don't tell era.
Fair. He does need to at least open the airway.
Yes. Have you told him to open the airway?
I
the real-
25 I have.
The real question is, Mayor, does he hear breathing?
At first, it sounds like really bad wheezing, considering the fact the mouth is closed and this person seems to have terrible snoring habits. But after opening the mouth, yes, there is more audible, actual breathing occurring as they're doing chest compressions.
Do I see the spirit move back in?
You stop seeing the spirit after 20 seconds of doing this. Spirit almost seems to
Can I
go more transparent before being pulled.
can
towards
I
the
have
body.
Rockin' Prime
Yes.
gently scoop up Spencer and the body so he can be carrying them somewhere warm while Spencer is doing CPR?
Give me a sleight of hand for this one.
I love the idea that Spencer's just like, I'll have to do CPR while being carried. Uses Rocking Prime as a table.
Honestly, that tracks. But let me do the Rockin' Prime roll.
Rocking Prime is just doing a crab while floating through the hallway.
Let's see, what's your sleight, Rockin' Prime? You don't have sleight, so that's a dex at +2.
Yep.
It's gonna be good, whatever it is. It's gonna be real entertaining.
It's exceptionally mediocre.
That's
It's
pretty
about average.
Yep.
It's good enough to where the head isn't at a bad angle that for the unconscious person. Spencer is kind of having to like re-angle himself as Rocket Prime starts moving every so often. This is like at a bad angle, but he's still able to keep pressing her like one of those happy buttons you're pressing. Those fidget buttons.
Yes.
I will say Spencer is a cat. He's got the boneless perk by default.
Yes, I do have the boneless perk by default. I am liquid. Liquid.
Notes from Transient and Puddle. If there's a heartbeat, you're not supposed to do chest compressions. Not to mention, she's cold. You have to try to warm the body up and then revive it. I'm warming the body.
I am warming them by hugging them with my body.
So,
I guess my turn will end with Rockin' Prime carrying Spencer and the old lady out past Old Man Jerry or Fat Man Jerry or whoever he is, the
I
asshole.
don't think she's old, but we'll see.
Not
so-
her, Jerry.
Ah,
Asshole Jerry.
Big
quick PSA. Yes, if there is a heartbeat, you're not supposed to do chest compressions because you could very well throw the heart's rhythm off and kill the person.
Mm-hmm.
this is true. However, Spencer has not been told this.
Also, in fairness, if anyone in this group was somehow gonna miraculously match a person's natural heartbeat perfectly, it would be fucking Spencer.
Oh yeah, this is the Oh yeah, I've heard this song before. What song?
You're trying not to cause arrhythmia.
Trying very hard, but possibly not succeeding.
Should I just make another background treatment check for Jace treating people now that they've been moved?
Yes, please.
As we're
Also,
moving
holy
them
shit.
into the Humvee and making chairs and shit.
Also, has the front gate sent any fucking emergency vehicles yet?
It'll take them
Uh,
a few minutes to get here.
It has only been at
30
most
seconds.
yes 30 seconds since you sent out the request.
Okay.
They're still on the motion.
21.
Stop rolling so low.
If it weren't for the fact that these are just basic civilians suffering terrible cold damages, this would be a failure. But thankfully, they're regular civilians suffering cold damage. You're able to assess and warm some people up. You're able to get some people to forget that they're currently in pain. Out of the dozen of bodies that you have currently around you, now grow more as Janet and Nix and Heather come out from the first level.
Transient would have been slowly transforming sand into the space blankets.
Space and blanket.
Sandy space blankets. Lovely. As each person who now boards the bigger and wider Humvee are now given space blankets to stay warm.
DM, is this the end of initiative?
Yes, it is. As you are finished getting out of the building with Rock and Prime, before any further crumbling does occur, you're able to have the civilians pile into the Humvee and start driving away. As you make it about 2 minutes closer away from there, you are able to see the lights of the emergency vehicles coming up, and just as they reach you guys, that's when the building collapses.
Dang. We did it.
Thankfully,
I saved
No.
one person.
thankfully, no explosions because everything was frozen, but there is now worries of leaked chemicals going into the atmosphere.
Hey,
That's
Transient.
OSHA's problem.
No, hold on.
Jace, make a suggestion since we're out of initiative.
Wait, are you
Well,
gonna have them make like a fucking Chernobyl sarcophagus?
Sort of. Jace looks to Wilda. Wilda, snow globe.
Oh, so it is a
I'll
sarcophagus.
try. I'll make a dome.
As you're still in your currently transformed form, the dome comes up easy with no problems as you cover. How big is the dome are you making? And how big is the dome you were suggesting, Legend? Or Jace?
He would suggest a dome that would go out at least 20 feet beyond the original parameters of the building.
So 4,000 cubic meters. That's still decent.
Not
size.
like completely fill it in, mind you, just the external part.
Yeah.
Yeah, just doing the external part. You got 4,000 cubic meters. I think you can do it pretty easily.
Perhaps.
All right, so you're asking Puddles to go back and seal off the collapsed building in a shield of ice to keep any of the leaking chemicals from expanding into the atmosphere.
Yes, this is the era where people started giving a shit about the ozone.
Only slightly, because it was Earth Day.
No, we're in September. It's not Earth Day.
Man, I know it's
Any
not
day
Earth
is Earth Day if you love Captain Planet like Spencer does.
Man,
Every day
I
is
know
Earth
it's not
Day.
Earth Day, but that would absolutely be some shit that the owners of a mine conglomerate would do. Man, today is the day where we respect our planet. Let's have our children's wedding today. Just bury the news about protecting the planet with fancy people wedding.
What do you mean Earth Day got covered up?
Crazy rich white people.
What do you mean I can't get married on Earth Day? I'm sorry, but unfortunately, the Mines and the Watts have already requested that for a personal get-together.
Hashtag fuck Jerry. Okay.
I guarantee you right now that it would be very in line for these families to go, Dad, I can't believe you bought me a Rolls Royce. I wanted a green one. I'm sorry, honey, demolishes the Rolls Royce.
People walking on the streets going, ah!
I mean, Jace is taking like a penny per money earned.
Mm-hmm. Jace is getting like
A lot
a
of money.
penny for every dollar they earn, but that's still astronomical.
Yeah.
Well,
And he's
We've
probably
saved
not using most of it, honestly. Especially since he doesn't have to order materials. He just has to order, like, fucking the cheapest material he can find. And then Transient's like, so what stupid wealthy thing do you need?
there you go. That's how you do it.
One more time.
Jace is probably not spending much of that money because he's got all these parts he needs and all these expensive pieces and materials, but also there's a transient who can just be like, oh yeah, this dirt cheap sand you bought for a penny a pound out in the desert, yeah, I can turn that into titanium or uranium or whatever the fuck.
Sure, why not? OSHA's not around.
Who needs to go shopping for material when you can make the material?
Yep.
Why shop for material when you are the material?
Transient just mass casting fabricate.
Effectively.
Speaking of transient, deep inside you, there's a hunger.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these people are in your vehicle, and it's just unaware. Almost enticing. Will check.
No,
Can I
because that's not how my power works.
Can
Fair
I?
enough.
Can I temper this slightly, DM?
Nope.
No. The thing is, DM can't actually make me do this.
No.
If-
What I'm saying is, I wanted to add a little flavor. If you're going to say that he's feeling the hunger, can he have in the background heard Rock and Prime being like, "Why would anyone disable the alarm system?" while talking about Jerry?
And Jerry's in the car.
I don't understand what was all wrong. It saved on energy, saved on money. Everyone was still working properly. I don't understand what happened. Who allowed the explosion to happen? Who set fire to the building?
I wonder who would have done that, Jerry.
Hey Jerry, I got a question for you.
Uh-oh.
Jerry, I want you to know, does this hand look a little big? Puts it over his face.
No, I got a very, very simple question for you. Did you only turn off the alarms, or did you turn off all the safety systems too?
But no, safety. we already work
we
on
need
safety. You don't need extra features like.
It's not like your chemicals have to be kept at an exact temperature or anything, right?
Jay's sending in thousands of anonymous reports to OSHA simultaneously.
Everyone
Along with a
individually
voice
turns
recording.
toward Jerry.
Just different recordings of Jerry from anonymous sources.
Jerry, you did buy that replacement part for the freezer, right? It wasn't the budget.
I bought it and
Of course,
just didn't
you
use it.
did make sure to mark down do not enter the laboratory, right? Because we didn't have the safety thing up yet.
Why do we-
As Spencer comes walking over, Spencer and Rocket Prime come walking over with the unconscious body. Is that Stephanie? She was
Oh, God.
scheduled to work
My
in the
hubris.
laboratory.
I'm sorry, I just love the idea that when he sees Stephanie, oh God, what have I done?
Oh God, that's Stephanie. Oh dear. Oh no.
Spencer, this is so cynical of me, but I immediately imagined that transitioning into, oh God, what have I done? The uniform is ruined. It's so expensive.
That's exactly what I'd imagine Jerry would say.
Damn it,
Hey Jerry.
What do you?
Hey Jerry, one last question for you.
Oh God. Oh, yes.
How long do you think you're going to be in prison?
Prison.
Present? I love presents. Transient,
Now-
give him his.
Not present. Prison.
Yeah, I know, give him his.
Hey, Spencer.
Yeah.
Spencer, can you do me a favor and take the poor lady over to the emergency vehicles that have just arrived?
I'm gonna grab her, not like physically grab, but carry her over to the emergency people. Just a naked cat man.
Oh goodness, what's going on? Whoa, young lad, are you? Oh, that's a costume. Oh, okay.
No, it's not a costume. I'm just really cold.
Rockin' Prime will call from the background, basically the lady's symptoms and the situation. Give an exact temperature readout from his scanners.
Several paramedics who are looking at her, quickly putting two and two together, and immediately taking her to the nearby ambulance to start administering proper recovery systems. You see, as the doors are closing, you do see one of them pull out one of those epinephrine needles.
Epinephrine is not the thing you would use for that.
Sorry,
Nope.
Adrenaline. My apologies.
It's still not what I would use.
Whatever the thing is.
Yes.
Epinephrine is not what you use. I'm gonna tell you right now, DM. They have lots and lots of hand warmers being put underneath that jacket, which I take off because I'm taking my bracelet back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright,
at this point they would be warming up her body and getting her core temperature up to proper area.
Yeah. Because you're not dead until you're warm and dead.
Yes.
Jace will likely have Rockin' Prime tell the medics about the most severe cases they have in the Humvee and say that everybody else, they can get to the hospital, but the most severe need to be taken by the ambulances.
most of the paramedics and go ahead.
Hey Jace, you mind doing one more thing for us? Getting the
Mhm.
cops on the horn saying we got the guy that instigated the explosions here in the Humvee as well.
What? I didn't cause any explosions. I did not do anything. I will have my lawyer here.
Hold on 1 second. Does Spencer hear this?
Not only do you hear that, you also hear one of the other workers in there. Yeah, here's your lawyer, and there's a punch right across Jerry's face.
I would like to interpose.
Jace is going to have Rockin' Prime also inform them. We also believe the cause of the explosion can be attributed to gross supervisory negligence, and we have the supervisor present to attest to that fact.
Help!
No, hold on. I said interpose. I'm stopping it.
We bypassed gross negligence quite a while back. At this point, it's criminal negligence.
Jace is being civil.
No, this is transient saying it outright.
Jace is still trying to be civil.
I make ice cuffs for Jerry.
You make ice cuffs for Jerry. You put them on Jerry. Spencer grabs Jerry. Spencer ascends in the isosphere.
Oh. Please do not.
People away from me.
I'm joking. I'm just gonna hold Jerry still for like half a moment, and then sit him down next to transient, and just look the transient for half a second, and then not notice anything that happens afterwards.
Oh yeah, transient looks absolutely terrible. Oh, he refused treatment from everybody. His arms are now bleeding quite heavily.
Jace is going to very bluntly say, I don't think he needs to be arrested, but there needs to be a further investigation, because during our attempts to save everybody, we found that the alarm system had been disabled. Multiple safety functions had been disabled from the building. All of the emergency equipment for putting out fires and helping fend off the sheer cold had been completely neglected. I'm pretty sure he goes over to one of the collapsed pipes, looks at it. Yeah, this says like 1943.
Now listen, while this is happening, Spencer's going to go to an emergency vehicle and go, I need a Hello Kitty Band-Aid. Stat, my friend's arms are bleeding.
There's a confused look from two of the paramedics. The third paramedic carefully gives you one Hello Kitty bandage.
I am rushing over to transient and gently, with all of the care in the world, unwrapping it, putting it on one small little fissure on his arm, and then kissing it. Okay, you should be good now, transient.
Transient, you're no longer dazed.
All right. Jace won't go get gauze then.
Dazed. I still have the bruises and I'm still bleeding decently.
Don't worry.
As his hand comes up and touches Jerry's head, I think you should sleep now.
Go ahead, give me that roll.
Not an
Jimmy,
attack roll. He needs to give me a roll.
Ah, yes. Let me give that.
I
roll,
mean,
yeah.
you had to make a roll to see if you grab his personality.
Jace is
Yeah, that I will have to make, but first I need to see if I eat anything. And that's a DC 16 fort.
that's 2 degrees.
That is 2 degrees. Thank you.
Alright, so he is now exhausted.
It's been a long, tiring day.
I'm DM. While this is happening, I am going to look at the surrounding situation and immediately go, well, it looks like everything's handled here. I'm going to check the rest of the city just to be sure. And I fly off.
Jace is gonna look at the group and be like, if he's not back in 10 minutes, can you press that button, Puddle?
Sure, but how long does this thing work?
The belt?
How long
Or
does
the
the
button?
button work? Or the belt?
The belt.
Well, I
Uh,
wasn't
the-
here the first time you used it, so I don't know. How long did it work last time? I didn't get to run tests on it before you guys just took it.
Couple of hours.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I really love the idea.
An hour. It actually lasted for about an hour before it turned off.
Okay.
In the background, I was imagining just for half a second, oh no, the button stopped working. He's lost. He's loose.
So it's up to GM whether or not I have to make that roll.
Oh, that's true, because you get a Benny for it.
Uh-huh. Because that's a complication.
Go ahead.
Oh
and,
no.
Go ahead and take the Benny. Give me the roll. If you pass it, you won't have to take it.
Nope, I failed. I'll
Oh,
be
my
taking
lord.
the Benny. Well, actually,
just-
I'm gonna double check on that. I'm gonna make a Benny roll. Is that a
So, it just clicked for me.
I
We have
passed.
created a situation where now Transient has OSHA negligence.
Nope. I spent a Benny to get a Benny back.
Yep.
By the skin of his teeth, Transient was feeling real OSHA negligent for a second there.
Wait, when have I ever followed the OSHA rules?
When has transient ever not caused an internal explosion within a highly unstable structure?
Never.
I'm gonna look at that sodium bomb and just ask you to answer that again slowly.
That was a controlled explosion within a reinforced area.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I left an imprint in the wall.
Yeah. You didn't leave a hole.
Oh man, it would have been even funnier if I left a hole.
Jace will pause, roll up one of his sleeves, look at the burns that are still healing, put his sleeve back down.
Yeah, controlled.
Maybe we should get going before the police ask us questions? Like
Police
our
will always ask.
identities?
For now, yeah, let's get going. And Jace will take off with all of you, presumably, except Spencer, because Spencer is... his planet needs him.
Yeah, we're leaving the general populace with their space blankets near the emergency vehicles and driving off into the sunset. Sunrise.
Ah, yes. The
Midday sun.
sunset. Midday sun.
Mi-
As you guys drive out of that area to head back to the base.
I love
As-
the idea that
So
just
I-
on the...
Hold on,
Sorry.
Jace. Yeah,
Go
as
ahead.
we're traveling, transient will clap and change the color of the vehicle.
It's an ice cream truck now.
And at some point along the way back, Jace will just briefly take them all through a drive-through so they can all get something to snack on, because Lord have mercy, was that a pain?
Right?
Do you,
And there's still 4 hours until the wedding. Go ahead and give me that perception check, Spencer.
okay,
Uh,
I'm just gonna tell you right now, I really love the idea that he claps his hands and it turns into a fucking ice cream truck.
No, it doesn't turn into an ice cream truck. However, it does turn Hot Rod red.
Hot Rod Red Humvee. That sounds like a really interesting indie band.
also, just to ask, how tall is Wilda in this form?
At least 3 inches taller.
Try add extra 2 foot.
Oh,
So she's nearly 7 feet.
So what I'm imagining then is, since we don't have Spencer and we don't have anybody else in the Humvee, the front row has illusory driver, and then Jace in the handicap passenger seat, and then the back seat is giant Wilda and transient in her lap.
Probably.
Yes.
sir, 3 of your finest burgers. 1 for me and 1 for the gigantic woman in the back and her boyfriend.
Yeah, no, I figured that it was something like 7 feet, so like the soft voice coming out is just not expected.
Oh yeah. The giant ice woman in the back with like a hamburger, please. No.
I will
Her
say
boyfriend
that
wants me to.
I will say that when you do speak, while it is soft, it is also in like an echoey vibe. Given
Tinny
your
echo.
helmet. Yes,
It's your
timid
tinny echo. It's your tinny echo from speaking through a diver's helmet.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been talking like this the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, I love how you said that just how I would.
Right, I found that awfully cool. Excuse the pun.
Jason's going to press a button so a screen goes up between the front seats and the back seats, so he doesn't have to hear any of this.
Somewhere out there, Spencer is
Oh
just
no,
going.
they're starting to pun. Separate.
Contain it!
We're
What?
flirting and they're making puns. Emergency.
Emergency!
You have
Put
to
up the
remember,
blast shield.
literally early 2000s, cool was the word to use.
Yeah.
There was literally no other words to use to explain something that was awesome.
Unless
still-
you're from the Northeast, and then there was Wicked, but
Yeah, we're not
Jason
Northeast.
matches
We're deep south.
yeah.
Jason smashes the emergency button all the same. He sees this from a mile away and he's like, no, disengage.
Sorry, imagine the emergency button goes on, the median goes up, the lights turn to like a deep purple, and it's just like slow jazz playing in the background. Emergency! Much better.
Automated driver at the drive-through. Oh, and an extra icy for the lad at the front seat. Trying to cheer you up.
Jace will give a salute to the illusory driver.
I'm just imagining the fucking autopilot from Airplane.
I love the idea that we have 3 different AI. We have Clippy for Spencer, we have Rockin' Prime, and then we basically just have Agent Smith, the illusory driver.
He's in a full black suit with tie, and it's Agent Smith from The Matrix, because The Matrix came out last year?
I love the idea that, like, Jace, clearly a regular civilian. In the back seat, there's a teenager and a giant whale person. In the front seat, driver seat, there is basically generic man in black with the glasses that have the little earpiece attached.
You need to step back, sir.
So Matrix, the first one was in '99.
So
3
we
years.
had Resurrection was Reloaded was 2003.
Yeah.
So we have had the first Matrix, but not the second or the third yet.
The best timeline.
So far, yeah.
Can't wait for Matrix 2 replay where it's a fucking Catman as the chosen one.
I was like, you are the chosen one. Licks his ear.
I'm gonna roll something real fast.
It turns out the Deja Vu cat was the real chosen one all along. Matrix
Showing
2,
you the
written
right.
by M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, I managed to tint all the windows excluding the front window like deep black, because there's nothing against the laws at the moment.
Agent Smith, FBI.
Fair enough. The windows are tinted. Spencer is currently in the air, purveying the city, giving him info. and you guys are currently at a drive-through at the moment, enjoying yourselves. Now, we can call it here if we want.
Might be good.
Alrighty, then I will finish typing what Spencer sees, and he can act on that next session. As we thank everyone here for joining us and watching as they finish up this horrible incident, preventing it from becoming oh so terrible, and catching the culprit of this terrible, terrible thing.
It would be horrible
Jerry.
to find out whoever made this really cold.
Can't wait for the opening of chapter 10 to be the news talking about the trial of fucking Jerry.
Okay. As we prepare to end the scene and say goodbye to everybody, good night to everybody, Will, would you please give me a will save, fortitude save, and a toughness save as your belt starts beeping and you are no longer in the armor.
Okay, so it's Will first.
Yes, will, fortitude, then toughness.
Okay. I should actually go to Puddle Sheet and not Ice Wilda. Okay, the roll's still the same.
Mhm.
Oof.
So it's only an 8 for Will.
Okay, 1d20 plus 5. And then toughness, I need to...
That's a 10 fort.
Oh.
And a 7 toughness.
Okay, what happens to me? Or you can DM me what happens. Because we've never had a failure of all of these.
Well, Spencer, slow it down. I am typing as quickly as I can.
I know, I just thought it'd be so funny.
Oh, this guy over here. What do I see? If I don't see anything here, I can travel the state. If not here, I can go to Japan. Oh no, Catzilla! Thank you all again. We hope to see you all next session, and till next time, have a wonderful day. Later.
Bye.
Spencer, you're not allowed to go to Japan.
Why not?
Well, for some reason, I love the idea of imagining that Spencer's belt transformation, instead of drawing his blood, purifying it, and re-injecting it, just straight up injects him with catnip.
Unable to purify, too strong, injecting catnip.